Paper was like gold in medieval times.
Oh, not tobacco. Sugar.
That everything we thought we knew about the world might turn out to be completely wrong.
Ella Maria Lani Yellick O'Connor, better known by her stage name of Lorde, is a New Zealand singer and songwriter. She was born November 7, 1996 in Takapuna, and was raised in Devonport, Auckland, where she performed in different singing and drama classes as a child. At the age of 13, she was signed with Universal. Yellick O'Connor adopted her stage name because of her fascination with royals and aristocracy, but she felt that the name Lorde was too masculine, so she added an E to make it look more feminine. At just 17, Lorde is garnering awards and accolades. Her musical debut was an EP extended play entitled The Love Club. It was released in November of 2012, and her first single, Royals, debuted at number 1 on the New Zealand Top 40, and also reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 2013, making her the first New Zealand solo artist to have a number 1 song in the US. Her debut album, Pure Heroine, was released in September 2013, and received critical acclaim and commercial success worldwide.
The greatest songs in history, to a certain extent, are as simple as possible. That's a groove and a bass line, basically.
It's incredibly simple.
It's not even a bass line. It's just some bass notes.
Yeah.
Wow. That song hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 last week. That's quite an accomplishment. What does it mean to be number 1 in America for you?
I mean, the coolest thing about it for me is that it means I can work with people who I have looked up to my entire life, you know? Having success for me means that I'm closer to being able to do the things I've always dreamed about doing, which, yeah, it's cool.
Wait, I mean, I would normally ask if it was your... if it had been your teenage dream to go number 1, but you still are a teenager. So is it, I mean, is this something you've dreamt about?
Not really. I don't know. This is not like a long-term goal or anything.
It wasn't.
Sorry. I've got heavy-duty delay. Like everything's happening like.
Oh, you can just take out your headphones. You don't need that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
You can just hear me. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, that was super hectic. I'll just leave those there.
So you. So being number 1 is not the goal for you. I mean, where someone like Drake would say, I want to make a lot of money, I want to be number 1. This is not something that's your raison d'être as a musician.
Well, I mean, when I wrote Royals, I wasn't like, we've got a hit. It just sort of happened. I didn't even think it would get played on the radio. So it all seems very fortuitous. Like, you know, I might never have a number 1 again, but that's okay.
I want to come back to Royals in a moment. Let's talk about how you got here. Where did this path to music start for you?
I was singing in my school talent show when I was like 12, and my record company saw it, and they put me on a development deal for a couple of years. And I didn't even write songs at that point. I just wrote short fiction and sang, and gradually I started working with people and tentatively songwriting, and realized I really liked doing it and didn't want to do anything else, really.
What were you singing in the talent show?
I sang Warwick Avenue by Duffy. Do you remember Duffy?
Of course.
Yeah.
I love Duffy. Actually, I love that song. That's she's sitting in the train or the bus or something.
Yeah,
in the
and she like cries. And,
and so somebody just approaches you afterwards and says, that was impressive. Can we chat?
Yeah, I think it was an email, actually. Yeah.
And at that point, you're 12. You don't have major aspirations.
No.
Other than, right.
And because I didn't write music, I wasn't like, oh, you know, here's my shot. For me, like, going through with my development deal was just like putting feelers out and seeing if it was for me.
You mentioned short fiction. I heard that you're an enthusiastic reader,
yes.
Right? Tell me about that. And I mean, you started writing short fiction as a kid?
Yeah, it's something I've always done, I guess.
There's not a lot of kids who say that. It's something I've always done. Do you remember when you started writing stories?
I guess I've always done it. I don't remember exactly.
Really?
Well, you have to write through school, and so I just
I suppose so.
sort of snowballed.
When did you start identifying it as short fiction? I'm writing.
I don't know. Maybe when I was like 12, I read Raymond Carver, and I was like, "This is the perfect short story," and then just tried to kind of copy Carver for a while, which doesn't really work if you're a 12-year-old from New Zealand.
And who else do you have as literary heroes?
I love Wells Tower. I like Tobias Wolff. I like Ron Rash. I like Claire Vaye Watkins. I'm really into people who just use words in kind of perfect ways. I'm all about, the perfect sentence, everything fitting.
Do you you read a lot on the road still?
Yeah, I'm pretty busy,
Right.
but yeah, I try to read.
Do you, well, there's long plane rides from New Zealand to anywhere, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
affords you a chance to read. What is your creative process now? So when it comes to songs,
Typically, I will start with something lyrical, whether that be like a single word or just like a little phrase, which kind of helps me to figure out this concept I've been thinking about. And then I'll take it to my producer and we'll, start working on a beat or figure out some melodies or whatever. As I've gotten better at songwriting, I've become more versatile with how I can write. Like now I can, start with a tempo or start with a beat as
Right.
opposed to just building a song around a lyric.
but the lyric comes first for you, the idea,
Generally,
the conceptual
yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
And the story goes, you posted Royals on SoundCloud, on just online, thinking that some folks would hear it, some friends, whatever, and then it goes #1 in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Did you have any inclination that this was going to turn into something big? And when did you know that it was turning into something really big?
Well, I thought it was cool. And I think if you have enough faith in something, then other people's faith just kind of, I don't know. Like I have a pretty good gut. And when I like something, it tends to be okay. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Put it on SoundCloud.
What was the moment where you kind of went, wow, this is
This is what?
this is getting bigger than I imagined?
I don't know if I've had one of those moments. I don't know if my expectation has overtaken, like, I don't know, what's going on or whatever, or vice versa. Everything seems to have progressed fairly naturally, I think.
It's normal for you.
I mean, it's
#1 hit in America.
swift. It's
Right.
swift. The gradient is steep, but it's okay.
Yes, it is. Like almost every piece written about you, Ella, it talks about your wise beyond your years maturity.
Old soul.
Well, yeah, and I mean it's not hard to get lost in that kind of talk because it is true. Meeting you is very impressive. One doesn't want to cast aspersions about other 16-year-olds, but you don't seem like a normal 16-year-old. I assume that most of that comes from your parents. Like what kind of influence have your parents had on you?
Well, my mum is a poet. My dad's a civil engineer. So I kind of get both sides of the brain. My mum has always bought us lots of books, so I was always reading and, would take us to galleries and buy us like 70s TV shows to watch. I don't know. We always, the arts are a big thing in our house. And yeah.
What is your mom's here today and
My
behind the
mum is
glass
here,
there,
yeah.
so you can't say anything bad about her, I guess.
Oh,
right?
I wouldn't say anything bad about my mum.
You feel hamstrung by your mother.
Lorde was born in Takapuna on the 7th of November in 1996 to Sonia Yelik, a prize-winning New Zealand poet, and Vic O'Connor, a civil engineer. She was raised in a suburban area in Devonport, Auckland, with an older sister called Jerry, a younger brother named Angelo, and a younger sister, India. She is of Croatian and Irish ancestry. When she was 5 years old, Lorde followed her friend into a drama group and discovered a love of singing and acting. She said she enjoyed how she had to switch on a different side of herself and become a different me. Lorde's mother encouraged her to read books and has said that at age 12, Lorde was reading Raymond Carter and Kurt Vonnegut, and at 14, she was proofreading her master's thesis.
What do your parents make of your massive success?
I don't know. I mean, it's not something that anyone is really equipped for. And things are changing all the time. So the way we have to deal with things is very different, compared to how it was 6 weeks ago, which is very strange, but they are so supportive of what I'm doing.
They've been encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my mum travels with me, which is not the easiest thing to do, I think, to, leave your life and your family to come on the road. They're very supportive.
Do you feel like that's a big part of it? I mean, there's a lot of young teens who might show a lot of talent and potential whose parents might say, that's great, honey, wait till you're done university, get your science degree first or something. And it feels like your parents have said, wow, you clearly love this, we're going to facilitate this happening?
Well, I think my parents kind of wanted me to, be an academic and do that sort of thing. Music sort of crept up on me. It went from being something that I did in my school holidays to something that I kind of couldn't stop myself from doing. My parents have been very accommodating towards that, I think.
Many musicians writing their own songs spend the first few years of their career releasing subpar material, making mistakes. You seem to have already found a sound and direction. How did you find your voice? Or at least, did you always have a conception of sounding the way you do?
Believe me, there was a lot of subpar material. I just didn't put it out because I think it's kind of intriguing to have someone appear kind of fully formed. Like, I feel like a lot of musicians, you have to watch them screw up a bunch of times before you can see something good. And I was like, I'd rather not release anything until it's the coolest thing I think I can make.
There's a very consistent sound to this record. Like, you have a sound.
Thanks.
When did you come upon that, do you think?
Well, I think it's still developing because my co-writer on this record, Joel Little, who I co-wrote the EP with as well, we started writing together when I was almost 15. I'm almost 17 now. And I think Royals was like the 4th or 5th song we wrote together. So, I mean, in the scheme of things, that's pretty fast work. So I don't know. I mean, I think the sound is still developing for sure.
Ella, some artists, I'm thinking of Amanda Palmer, for example, have talked about the challenges that young musicians face when they have success right away instead of having time to develop that sound and sense of self. Does that concern you? Are you worried you'll be creatively evolving under more scrutiny now?
I mean, like I was saying before, if I think that something is cool and no one else does, I'm still going to think it's cool. So I'm not really stressed out about, what
Being
other people
under the
think.
microscope?
No, but about what other people think of about the music that I make. I'm pretty confident that, I'm not going to have like the terrible second album or whatever. That's a big call, isn't it?
Yeah.
What if the second album's terrible? You won't get me back here.
Well, only to replay that statement, we might. But that's great. You have a real sense of I suppose, confidence and sense of self. Again, that's...
Well, I think one of the advantages of starting off so early is that I definitely feel like I'm at the beginning of all this. I feel like I have so much room to grow and, so much room to evolve musically. And I think that's kind of exciting.
How do you deal with criticism?
What sort of criticism?
I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine that anybody hasn't liked your record.
There's senseless criticism, which is like,
if somebody didn't like your record,
this is crap. Your eyes are too far apart. I'm just like, oh, give me a break. I don't know. I mean, it's a weird thing. My friend Claire was telling me, like, she said, what you're doing right now, everyone is listening to it. Everyone is talking about it. And there's going to be very much a divide because it's, people aren't used to what's going on right now. So, you know, there will be hugely negative opinions and there'll be hugely positive opinions. But if you know what's right and if you know what's good, then you'll be fine.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, no one gets huge without there being somebody who wants to hate on it, right? So you're going to be you're just ready for that.
Yeah.
This is just a disclaimer. I'm not going to ask you about other artists. This question is leading to asking about you. But
Okay.
Royals replaced Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball on the Billboard Hot 100. Some have seen that as having added significance. The New York Times pointed out that you're pretty much the antithesis of Miley Cyrus, they said, and other pop stars who use their sexuality as part of their act. Adele, it would be in your camp, say. What do you make of that assessment?
I get really frustrated about people pitting me as the anti-Miley. I think that's one of those stupid things that journalists concoct in their offices.
Reductive, too easy.
Well, I think that people love to pit female artists against each other in pop, which just seems like the silliest thing ever. It's not some sort of fight to the death or something or whatever. And people kind of think that I, you know, like I don't wear bras and undies in my videos because I think there's something wrong with it. I don't. I just personally don't feel super comfortable doing that, and I don't think that it would help my music to come across any different, you know? Like if I wanted to do that, it would be my choice and that would be fine, and I've got absolutely no problem with everyone else doing it. So it's weird that people are like, oh yeah.
Well, it's usually coming from an affirmative place. Like it's usually coming from a place of, wow, this feels really real compared to some of the manufactured stuff out there. So it's certainly
yeah, I guess so.
You said in the song "Team," you're trying to be a realistic pop star. What does that mean to you?
I don't know. Like I wrote "Team" after Royals was having some success, and I think the thing that people relate to about me is that I kind of try not to fall into your typical pop traps with songwriting. "Team" is a pop song within an inch of its life, but I think within that you can still be a little bit like tongue-in-cheek and like call out some of the lame stuff about pop.
Well, one of the things that you've been very clear about, and maybe this plays into the lame stuff about pop, is that you don't, you'd prefer not to have your image blasted everywhere. You've said, and I really like this, you said mystery is important. And my hero is Bowie, and Bowie's, career is about maintaining a sense of mystery, which he continues to still be able to do.
Absolutely.
It's harder for a new artist in 2013 to try and, in the social media world, et cetera, to try and maintain mystery.
Yeah.
Do you find that to be a struggle?
Yeah, I mean, there's a really fine line with social media in that it's so powerful in terms of connecting you with people who care about your music. But if if, say, someone else were running my Twitter account, then I think that would be maybe a little standoffish. And, I don't think that's using social media to the best of its kind of ability. Maintaining mystery is difficult, particularly in pop. I don't know.
Like your face isn't on the cover of your record.
My face isn't on the cover of my record, which I'm so glad I did, and which I think, is kind of a cool thing to do. Like if this was electronic music, everyone would be like, oh yeah, big deal. No one's face is on the cover.
Right. And do you want to stand by that in the future? Would you prefer to not have your face on the cover? Is that something that is important to you?
It felt very important to me for this record. I don't know why. But who knows? There are beautiful covers with their artist's face on them. It's one of those things,
Well, part
could
of it,
happen.
maybe the subtext is you're saying this is about the music. Not.
Yeah. I really like this artist, Ed Ruscha, who kind of does these beautiful things with text. And there's a Canadian musician called Magical Clouds who has a very bare bones album cover. And we were talking about it, and it's kind of cool in that there's absolutely nothing to gauge from that. You really just have to listen to it.
Even your live show, which I saw a couple of nights ago, is you're in the dark to a certain extent. I mean,
It is very dark.
Yeah, it's just not. There isn't a bright spotlight and a screen with your face on it or something. You know, it's very. There is that sense of mystery, perhaps, that feels like it's been a conscious decision.
Yeah.
I do imagine, I want to make sure there's time for you to play another song. And we're stoked that you're playing here. I do imagine there's pressure to capitalize on your success immediately. You still have to finish school. How do you feel about balancing all of this?
I don't know. I mean, I know that right now music is kind of the only thing that has my full attention. Like, I love doing it so much, and I can spend all day doing it and not get bored, which for me is a big thing. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm balancing okay. We'll have to see.
If you can disclose this, what is your dream at this point? It's allowed to change in the next few years, but what is the dream as you see it now? Where would you want to take this?
I don't know if I know that yet. I don't know. I just want to make another record, and I want it to be really beautiful. And I guess that's the best way to look at it. Just take it record to record, song to song.
Do you see this as something you'll be doing for the next decades to come?
I hope so. Yeah. I can't think of anything else that I would rather do.
Short fiction?
So. No, I don't think so.
You're done with that. You're done with the
For now.
Yes. I want to see the short fiction. I'm excited about that. Such a pleasure to have you here.
When Lorde was 13, A&R scout Scott McLaughlin signed her to Universal, and she began working with a succession of songwriters, but without success. McLaughlin told Hitquarters, "Fundamentally, I think she understood that she was going to write her own music, but would ultimately need someone to help with the production side of it." Lorde began writing songs with her guitar at about 13 or 14. She was eventually paired up with writer and producer Joel Little, and the partnership really clicked. Within a week together, the duo had written 3 songs, including Royals. Lorde's debut EP, The Love Club, was originally posted on SoundCloud in November of 2012, where it was available for free download. Her manager, McLaughlin, said, "We felt it was a very strong piece of music and thought, let's just put it out and worry about the money later." When it got to 60,000 free downloads, the record company said, "We have to stop now." A music supervisor in the U.S. heard the EP and showed it to Lava Records CEO Jason Flom, who wanted to meet Lorde and sign her to his international label. Flom said, "We saw an immediate reaction around the world. It was the first spark that lit the blaze of attention and activity that culminated in Lorde's incredible album debut."
You ready?
Yeah.
Nice. I am joined here by Lorde at Splendor in the Grass. Frank Ocean pulls out of the festival. Who steps in? This girl. Welcome.
Hi.
What happened when you got the call to fill in for the big man himself?
Okay, so I was at a party Friday night. It was like midnight, and my manager texted me like, "Yo, Frank Ocean has torn a vocal cord or some shit. You want to play Splendor?" And I was like, okay. And all my friends were like, "Get off the phone. What are you doing?"
Be in the moment. You should be partying.
Yeah. Good buzz though.
What
Very cool.
was your reaction? Were you just like, hell yes?
Well, I didn't really know much about Splendor. I was stoked, and I googled it, and I was like, "Oh man, super cool people are playing. So excited." Just seems like a real good buzz in general.
Well, I know that you mark some of your influences musically as some people that are playing here this weekend.
Not gonna name any names. Some of them are staying at my hotel.
James Blake.
Yes. I'm like,
Flume.
I haven't seen
So
Flume.
James Blake staying at your hotel?
Yeah.
This is, wow, okay.
I'm having
What?
difficulty.
You've got 24 hours. No, you've got even less. You've got 1 day.
Don't
to spend
encourage
in
me
the
to be a
grass.
super creep.
I'm not going to, but
Okay.
what are you going to achieve today in order to just make sure you get to meet Blake?
Oh God. It's a purely musical fascination, I promise. Just think he's
well, I
super
can tell you he's
talented.
going to be sitting there in an hour.
I'll get out. Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna watch a set later.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. It's gonna be good.
For sure. It must be, just that you must have had the craziest 24 hours. But you're here now. I want to talk about your 2 EPs that you've got out at the moment. What a response you've had. What attention you have garnered, in just such a short amount of time. Perez Hilton is talking about you. You've got Grimes who tweets about you. Even Marty Smiley, which is my name, he tweeted you 6 months ago, and you tweeted back, which is I really appreciated that.
Really?
Thank you.
What did you say? What did I say?
I just said, discovered this girl, gonna put it out there to the whole world. Look her up.
Nice, thank you.
And you said thank you already. So
cool. Okay.
Thank you for that. So if you want to thank anyone for the fame that you will receive in the next couple of months, you could probably
just give it all to you.
Well, thank
just
you.
A big thanks.
Cheers.
Okay, great.
Yeah. But no, how have you reacted to? I guess it'll be unusual to see that in your social network or in the news.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, all the time I'm adjusting to what's normal. Like, I don't know. I guess I've never had anyone else's music career, so this is just normality for me. But it's rad. I'm so grateful for everyone being so nice and letting me come here and play this festival. It's so cool.
You have a fascination with hip hop. It's an influence of yours or something that you've listened to a lot before. I'm keen to know, where do you what do you think about the genre at the moment, hip hop in general?
I mean, I think there's a bit of messiness at the moment in terms of, I don't know, I'm kind of a stickler for, I don't like it when dudes talk about girls in a nasty way, and a lot of hip-hop at the moment is quite degrading to the girls, which I think is a bit shit. But, I don't know, there's been some good stuff. I'm a big Yeezus believer. I think it was fucking rad, and I think that was a really good thing to happen to hip-hop now. It's good.
Definitely. If you could, who's your favourite rapper in
Ooh. Tricky. I really like Sign. He's a bit old. But I really like him. And then there's a guy from Wu-Tang called Shyheim, who was like 12 when he recorded that album or whatever. And I feel like that was his peak when he was 12 years old, and then he got real shit after that. But 12-year-old Shyheim, so good.
16-year-old Lorde, so good. Would you be able to say that? No.
Don't let this be my peak. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. Let's say 25-year-old Lorde. No, we're going to keep going higher.
Perfect. Okay.
But, you hopefully will have some longevity in this industry. It's only just starting for you at the moment.
Yeah.
What are your musical ambitions?
It's hard. I mean, this is a difficult business to have goals in, because everything happens within 48 hours, getting asked to play Splendor.
Yes.
But I mean, there are a couple of festivals that are kind of goals, and I just want to make cool shit, and work with cool people. There are definitely a couple of people who really want to work with, but yeah, just as long as I'm not a judge on American Idol in 2 years, then I'll be okay.
That's a really good goal. If that's your only one, that's good.
To not be on American Idol.
Look, you're about to enter an industry that is sometimes frivolous and shallow, and a lot of people will try and move you in different ways that you may not want to go. How does Lorde stick to her guns? What are your values? What are you going to stick to when you enter this industry?
I mean, I've been in this industry since I was 13 years old, and I have been micromanaging everything and calling all the shots and telling everyone how it should be for this long. So
I also have had experiences with record labels already.
Yeah. So I have a really good idea of what I want and how things should be. So as long as I can keep being a hard ass.
What are those things?
I don't know, not specific things, but just in terms of what I like visually and artistically, and the kind of things that I just wouldn't want to do, being on American Idol. I don't know, you gotta keep it cool. It's so easy to fuck things up these days, but just gotta do cool shit.
Nice. I like that. That's good. Thank you very much for this interview, and enjoy your time in Australia.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cheers. Thanks very much.
No problem.
On the 12th of August 2013, Lorde announced via her Twitter account that her debut album, Pure Heroine, would be released in the US on the 30th of September 2013. The album's release was promoted by a New Zealand advertising campaign, with lyrics displayed in classified ads, shop windows, posters, and fax broadcast to media offices. In November 2013, Lorde signed a publishing deal with Songs Music Publishing, worth a reported $2.5 million, after a bidding war between various companies, including Sony and her label Universal. The agreement grants the publisher the right to license Lorde's music for movies and advertising. She appeared on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine in January 2014.
We've been joined in the studio by Lorde this afternoon. Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're looking very, kind of, like very upbeat.
I've
And
got my suit on.
Okay.
I'm ready to take the day.
Do you think that was kind of
Business
a
time.
London thing? You had to be like all suit and tie and everything? Because we don't dress
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I mean,
Clearly,
I'm
I
in
don't.
Houndstooth. They feel very like London. Let's do this, London town, lads.
Love it.
Lads, brilliant.
Yes. I have to say, you've had a massive year.
Oh, thanks.
Only 17. Roz was like number 1 for 10 weeks.
You sounded like a mum then. You're only 17.
Massive. How's it been for you?
It's been good. It's been so busy. Yeah, pretty nonstop. But I got Christmas off and I got summer off, so it's been good.
Time to chill.
And
So
now I'm working.
What
Good.
did you do over Christmas? Just time with family? Just
Hung out with the fam, sat on the beach, went fishing, did nothing.
See
It's
that
nice.
whole beach life at Christmas.
Yeah.
It's
I know,
just-
yeah, we don't get that.
Yeah, yeah, you don't want to be down on Brighton Beach on
The
December the 25th. There are people I know who go like, Christmas Day over here, cold, right?
Very cold. Did you get snow this year?
No, we
No.
didn't.
Have you had snow
fortunately.
yet?
No, we've had a lot of rain.
Do you reckon you'll get snow?
Nah, it's too late
Nah.
now. The Christmas dream is over, Lord.
I've
We've
never
gotta let go of
had
it.
like snowing snow before.
Really?
It doesn't snow in Auckland,
Okay.
so but I really want to witness it.
Yeah.
Come
in
on,
here.
make it snow.
Come on. I know.
Make
It's
it
like,
happen.
I can't do it. It's not up to me. But I know people who go like swimming and stuff on Christmas Day, like
Wow.
when it's freezing. Yeah, I know. I
Freezing.
don't know why you would do that.
That's
but-
a little bit crazy.
So you're in London because we got the Brits happening.
Yeah,
You're going to be performing. Are we allowed to talk about the performance itself?
I mean, like to an extent.
Okay,
To
go
an
on. then.
extent,
In
yeah.
fact, so I don't ask any leading questions then. Tell us about it. What's going to be happening?
Well, I am going to be taking the stage with Disclosure. Cool dudes, very cool dudes.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna have a little sing, have a little play. That's
You're-
what's happening.
You're
really.
being very cryptic about that.
I
You're
am.
just like-
I am being very cryptic, but yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll know the songs that we perform.
Okay, that
I'm
was
so
that was
excited.
plural. Everyone noticed it was 2 songs
Hint number
at
1.
least. Okay, I'm writing these down.
Write that
I'm gonna try
down.
and piece
Guys,
it
of course
together.
you are.
Get that down.
And it's going to be a really fun performance.
Okay, have you done any kind of rehearsals or anything for that yet?
One does tend to rehearse.
Okay, yeah, no, I just
Pre-Brits.
wondered if you'd done it for yet, or if it was yet to happen.
No,
or...
we have rehearsed. Yeah.
Okay, so they know what's happening.
I'm excited. You also performed at the Grammys.
Yeah.
And you won two awards for Song of the Year and Pop Vocal Performance.
So crazy.
You have 2 Grammys. What's
I have
next?
2 Grammys. I mean, hopefully a Brit.
Whisper it.
That would be cool.
So you're clearly gonna, it's taking off for you, and awards coming left, right, and centre. You're clearly gonna need a room in your house, sort of dedicated to that, right? So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I try and like I'm weird about it. I just want to like banish them to a corner. But I haven't gotten my Grammys yet, so maybe it'll be different.
you haven't gotten them yet.
No, I think they take them away to get engraved or whatever.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I thought you could take them home on the night
I
and be like,
wish.
here, Mum, look what I got.
Yeah.
No, once you've had the photo taken, that's it. It's
Yeah,
give them
no,
back.
it
Oh,
literally
okay.
is exactly. You get off stage with like, okay, we'll have that back. I'm like, come back.
excuse me, I just
Please.
won
That's
that.
mine.
Please. Your new single Team is out now. Was it hard picking the second song after Royals?
As soon as we wrote Team, I kind of knew, and we'd been in this weird rut, and I was like stressing myself out. I was like, we need another Royals on this record. We need another Royals. And it just was not happening. We were like rebelling and writing like 10-minute, like weird instrumental jams instead. And then like I had a couple of days off and then wrote Team, and I was like, yes, like this is like, feels like a really nice follow-up and isn't Royals, but is its own thing, which is cool, I think.
Got a nice vibe to it. It's different from Royals. Bit more upbeat.
Yeah.
We're loving it at Kiss.
I like
you.
Team. Are you allowed to kind of say that or look upon your own music that way, where you can go, yeah, that one I like the best, but that one not so much, or that one? Do you know what I mean? So have you got a favourite Lorde song yourself?
I mean, I think you have to kind of know what you like of your own music, you know, otherwise, like, no one would make anything. But yeah, I mean, a team is definitely a highlight for me because I think I was writing in a way that was kind of unusual for me, and I really liked it. There's another song on the record called Ribs that I really like, that I'm really proud of. But yeah, it's good. I love all my children.
I love it.
All 10
My little
on the
baby.
record. Yeah.
It's going to be a massive year for you. Is there going to be a tour coming up?
Yeah, well, I after this I head to the States to start, like, you know, planning for the US tour. And I will hopefully be back this side of town for the snow.
With your suit
For the
on?
non-existent snow, with my suit on.
For the lads.
Ready to play for the lads. And it'll be safe, yeah.
Do
Do you guys say safe?
Safe.
Do people not say
nah,
safe?
not.
When I was younger.
I have a footballer friend who says safe.
Okay. It depends where you go, doesn't it? You know, some people will be like, safe, mate. And some people will be like, what are you saying? I don't know.
He does say it kind of like that.
You keep saying lads, so I want you to tell us about this image that you have of British people where you go, woo, lads. So talk to us about this, because I feel like we have to defend ourselves a little bit here.
I just love the word lad.
Lads.
It
Okay.
says a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to like put up any stereotypes that may or may not exist.
Basically, you want to be able to come back here. So that's what you're saying.
I
is
don't
you
want to be barred from this building. That's the thing.
It's all right. You'll be welcome.
You'll
Yeah,
be
it's
back.
fine.
You'll be back. Lorde, thank you for joining us in the studio.
Lorde, everyone.
Lorde has received much praise for her stage presence and live performances. Billboard magazine praised her for having a well-defined stage presence and a savvy and unflappable attitude. The magazine added that her performances contain confidence and demeanor well beyond her years. Lorde's vocals have also been praised in the live context, calling Lorde a truly talented vocalist who sounds just like the record. Lorde's stage presence and moves have been described as being really unique and sort of intense. She described her own dancing as a reaction to the way the music manifests itself in her body, over which she has no control. Lorde has admitted to feeling embarrassed by her moves, but takes influence from David Byrne, and says she feels the music, which makes me not feel so bad. In a discussion about Amy Winehouse and Britney Spears, Lorde said, "I'll never go off of the rails like Britney or do an Amy because my upbringing was so normal. I can't touch alcohol at my age, and I'm not even sure I want to when I'm older." Lorde commented on Miley Cyrus's performance at the Video Music Awards when she said, "There's a lot of shock tactics these days. People trying to outdo each other, which will probably culminate in two people fucking on stage at the Grammys. I try to keep my blinkers on and focus on making music." She also talked about Disney stars and said, "The difference between those kids and me is that I grew up completely normal and went to parties and had that experience. I am way less inclined to say, 'Look, I'm fucking mental.'"
Ladies and gentlemen, Lorde. Welcome.
Thank you.
Have you met before?
We have met.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we met at the that pre-Grammy.
Yeah, pre-Grammys and then the Grammys. I met you with your dad.
I was with my dad, and
Yeah?
you just won a Golden Globe, and he was very proud of you.
Oh, that's
It was
very
like you were
sweet.
his son.
That's sweet, because I don't have a dad. Now I can have a dad to be proud of. This so sweet. I like your dress.
Thank you.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And I hope it's warm enough for the Swedish winter.
Oh.
Because you're from New Zealand. You don't have a lot of winter, perhaps?
No, well, I'd actually never properly seen snow before today. And I... you know,
Is that true? Did you make a snowball?
I made a lot of snowballs. I threw them at everyone that came
great.
here with me. Everyone got very annoyed.
Nice.
So you actually enjoy the snow?
I love it so much. It's so white. It's so beautiful. I didn't expect it.
I'm so amazed by your success because it's you're 17 years old.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're 17? Do you? Because now you're like experiencing so much very fast.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a weird question because, like, I don't know how old I would feel if I wasn't feeling 17. You know what I mean? I haven't been
I agree,
older,
I
so
agree.
it's hard for me to look
But the
back.
thing is, I read about you, that you are inspired by a variety of people, and two of your idols are Sylvia Plath, that's right,
Yeah.
and Phil Collins.
I love Phil Collins.
Very few 17-year-old girls love Phil Collins. He's for Steve and me, you know. He's for older people.
Yeah, thank you.
But we do
you so
agree.
much.
You like Phil Collins.
She's going to use her
admit it.
martial arts.
You
on
said
you.
Who's
older
older?
people.
No,
Keep it
but
to
older
yourself.
than her people. That was very rude.
Yeah, it was.
Even to me, it was rude.
Yeah.
To myself.
Yeah.
I'm not that old.
Well, I don't know. I'm a fan of a lot of music and a lot of stuff from, you know, from the 60s, from the 80s, from kind of all over. And I just think Phil Collins is really good at writing music. I'm a big fan. So I don't know.
And do you? I mean, going to the Grammys, winning 2 awards, meeting all the stars,
Jared.
among
Jared.
others, must have been great. Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be great if you get the the privilege of being awarded.
And you brought your mother as well.
I did. I brought my mum and my dad and my 3 siblings and my aunt. So.
And your mother's a poet, right?
Yeah, she is.
So you both had mothers that they're both artists in a way.
Yeah.
Because your mother's an artist as well.
Yeah, my mom was, we grew up in the hippie days, and we grew up around a lot of artists, very communal situations, vagabonds, wandering spirits, and, art was just something that you did. It was a lifestyle, and I was really lucky to have a mother push me to be creative or encourage that rather than do something that was safe. And that's a brave thing for parents to do, I think, because there's a lot of imbalance and stability there. So I'm lucky,
Me too.
Yeah.
She said, your mother said that you have a head on fire. What does she mean by that?
I mean, I guess she means that I'm always kind of plotting or thinking or figuring something out. I like understanding things. And so if there's something that interests me but that I don't know anything about, I'll just kind of get amongst it and set the fire and, I don't know, figure it out.
You're a very thoughtful person. You think a lot, or you read a lot as well?
I do, yeah. I'm just sort of like not very social. I don't really talk very much. I just sort of by myself.
You seem very social.
Oh, well, I mean, we're all here, so.
So you
She
wouldn't...
doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, you forced me.
But you wouldn't like to would you like to stand in front of an audience and like talk, give a lecture, or is it,
Well,
do you only want to sing?
Here's the thing. I'm actually pretty good at, like I was good at giving speeches in school, and I did drama classes when I was a kid. That was another thing that my parents, really encouraged. So I'm really good at kind of faking it, in a way. faking confidence, because I can be quite kind of shy and quite within myself. But I'm getting way better at, being in these situations now that I...
Yeah, you could have fooled me. Yeah. The song Royals, it's a huge hit, and we heard a clip of it here, but you're gonna perform it later for us.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that it's a song about what you can buy and what you can't buy?
I wrote it when I was 15 and a half, and for me it was just about, it was a funny thing because, we were listening to all this music that bragged about luxury and about opulence, and, we were just kind of being 15-year-olds and like riding our bikes everywhere and being like, oh look, I've only got $1, do you have 20 more cents? And like literally counting coins to get on the bus, to get on the train.
This is 2 years ago.
Yeah, just almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. For me it was almost a little bit tongue-in-cheek.
And now you're experiencing sudden wealth and fame. What's the most luxurious thing you've given yourself?
I bought myself a bed. we moved house, and I had a single bed before that, and I bought a queen size bed, and it's beautiful.
It's great. Do you have that?
Do I have a bed? I've got a few. I don't really live anywhere, so I'm always on the move. So I have a lot of different beds.
I can imagine.
So.
You were a heartthrob when you were quite young. You had a very sudden success as well.
Yeah, well, no, I never had sudden success, but I can understand because I've had peace. I've always had a long, slow build, and I'm really grateful for that for myself because I didn't start out great like she did. I had to learn how to get better. I had some wrong ideas, and that's been true for me as a filmmaker, as an actor, as a musician, and in a lot of ways, I had to learn, I had to acquire. But sudden fame can be like a fight with a tiger. You don't know what to do until it's upon you, and then you figure it out, and you got to stay alive, right? So it can be a tough thing, and I think it's in hindsight you have kind of a perspective, and if you've got good people, good friends, good family around you, that helps. But I find often it's not Lorde who changes, it's everybody around her who changes. And that can be the difficult thing, friends who are like, well, why are you acting funny?
Is this how it feels for a finance minister as well? When you're in position, do people change?
I think that anyone who experiences fame, to being recognized, whether it's in your hometown or globally as you guys experience, I think that some sanity checks has to do with your old friends. How do they behave towards you? Do they change? And if they change, then I think that's the saddest thing, actually.
Yeah.
Have people changed around you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I'm from quite a small country. New Zealand has, I think, 4.5 million people. So everyone thinks, I don't know, there's this kind of relativity. If I were to see Jared in the street and he was from New Zealand, I would treat him like he was my brother or my cousin. So it's quite crazy for me at home at the moment. But I found for the most part, it's been okay. And I think I'm still quite weird. And so people who know me are like, oh, okay, it's the same.
Why Lorde? I mean, your name is Ella, right?
Yeah, my name's Ella. Well, I was just interested in aristocratic titles, and I was trying to kind of find something Latin or something that I could just make my name. And I liked just simple Lorde, but I wanted to put an E on it to make it a little bit feminine. I like the mixture of toughness and kind of soft.
But why aristocracy? Why is that interesting?
I don't know. It's just something that I've always liked. When I was a kid, I was just really into all types of history and was particularly drawn to different monarchs, particularly the ones who, got the throne when they were 14 or, I don't know, I'm just interested in the weird, awful, strange nature of it. I don't know, is that morbid?
No, it's perfect. As an introduction to royals, couldn't be better. Thank you very much. Join your band. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Lorde is very vocal about the importance of her music and the importance of being your own person. She puts that energy and emotion into her music. It will be interesting to continue following Lorde to see how well she sticks to her guns in an industry known for being difficult on those involved in it. As she ages and her music develops with her, it will be interesting to see exactly what Lorde will develop into.